Well, this is it, the final showdown of SBR Sim Racing British Touring Cars Season 1, and we come in with 3 contenders, 3 races, and all to win or lose for all the drivers involved. Plenty of other people looking for game places up and down the championship, some people looking to score some good points. But here we are at Brands Indy, and that is the state of the championship. Nathan leads by 10 points from Ben, who's a point ahead of Sean. Lewis with an outside chance, but it's really the top 3 we're going to be watching. Then it's Liam, Adam, Dylan's not racing tonight, and Jeff. And the bottom half of the table is Coleman, Andrew, Greg, Ashley, Bob and Leon. And Chris looking to pick up his first points of the season as well if he can. A very tricky Brands Hatch Indy track, but like I say, it's 3 guys that are in the championship, and there they are. It's Sean on the left, Nathan with the best chance with the championship lead in the middle, and Ben on the right there. And they're the 3 cars to look out for in this tonight. And very shortly we get race 1 underway, and it's an early start at 9:30 in the morning on this gloomy start to the Brands Hatch Indy circuit on a Friday night. But who will come out on top? Place your bets now. Will it be the Subaru, the Alfa Romeo, or the Ford Mondeo, the Alfa Romeo, or the Toyota? So it's Adam with a surprise pole position in the Ingram car. So Adam on pole from Nathan, Ben is 3rd, Lewis 4th, the other championship contender is Sean in 5th, Liam 6th, Jeff 7th, a good position for him, Andrew 8th, 9th for Leon, a good qualifying for him, Coleman a little bit upset with 10th, Ashley in 11th, Brian in 12th, and Chris bringing up the rear, unfortunately, for him. We'll get the race underway. The cameraman's having some difficulty, so we'll just ignore that, and the race is about to start, cameraman, so hurry up. And they are good to go for race 1, being held quite a long time. And away, and Adam's got a good start, bit of wheel spin though. Nathan tries to cover Ben, Ben's through the middle like a rat, and he takes the lead, exactly what he needed for his championship. He takes the lead into turn 1, followed by Adam. Nathan trying to swoop around the outside to follow Ben, not quite coming off I don't think, and he'll have the outside for this second corner, but it looks like he might have pulled that off. That's an incredible manoeuvre. He'll have the inside for the next corner, but Adam's not one to lie down. Liam in 4th, Sean 5th. Sean, another one we've got to watch as well. We've got to keep the championship in mind tonight. Chris is off in the background, and it looked like he was joined by Coleman. Let's see, I think it was Coleman. There it is, yep, Coleman it was as well. So bad start to the race for those guys, but we're almost at the end of lap 1 already. There's 25 laps in this race, and the other two as well, sorry, and a lot of bumping and boring as they come around the last corner and down into the front straight. And leading the first lap, it will be Ben ahead of Adam, then it's Nathan, Liam, and then Sean making moves on the inside, and Sean just holding off Lewis by the looks of it. And in fact, no, Lewis around the outside. Can Sean outbrake him? He can't lose another place, and he has. That's disastrous for him at the moment, with Jeff hanging on well in 7th, but then a gap back to Andrew in 8th. So working on lap 2, and a bit wide in the background for Andrew, exploring the track limits. Jeff touching the grass, that's not advisable. But Ben now just with a slight lead over Adam, and Nathan's looking racy, as well as Liam's just sort of dropped back on this lap a bit weirdly. Leon in 10th with Brian, and the recovering Coleman and Chris as well. But fastest lap to Ben there, but everyone's pretty close on times. And into the gravel goes Ben, and Ben's wide, and that's surely giving Adam a chance. Adam will try to swoop down the inside, Ben covered it quickly. Nathan there trying to pounce on Adam if Adam gets this wrong, but they're side by side, so Nathan now trying to retake the position, and Lewis and Sean's going to battle again. Sean's looking very racy. He knows that he's got a chance of this championship, and he knows that he's got to get past cars earlier on. His qualifying wasn't the best, and he's got re-overtaken, Lewis, get my words out. And there's Liam also trying to, he's come back well this lap and is attacking Nathan, but still Ben leads, but Adam is applying the pressure. Nathan sat there waiting for something to happen. He has the championship lead, so he can be patient. Adam's down the inside. That's a good move. He can pull it off. Has he done it? Not quite. He's pulled out of that move just at the last minute, probably wise, as Ben was taking the swooping line. And Nathan again trying to go around the outside. He likes that outside move, and it will give him the inside down into this corner, so he's just got to be good with the brakes, try to mess Adam up mid-corner, because Adam would look for the cut back, and he has, but as the Hyundai got the power on the straight, and it has, that's quite surprising against the Lexus, but probably not just big enough straight for the Lexus to stretch its legs. I'm not going to mention its power that the Lexus has this week. I've decided a bit of contact there as they Constantina up into the last corner, but all seems fair, and they all got round and into the grass, and the gravel goes to Stig. He's off, and yeah, that's probably a really bit of a brown paper moment there. He's gone off, and the Stig returns to the track and carries on. It's Ashley, of course, not the Stig. But all of this battling, and now is still more. This Lewis sideways, he's come out of paddock and obviously lost the back end of the car, and that's dropped him down a couple of positions. He's now down behind Andrew, and the pink car getting a bit of a flush, getting knocked around a bit. But he's back in the race, and he's still side by side with Andrew. Bit of contact, the two Toyotas knocking each other around a bit, and they maintain position. And the Stig now on the attacking 10th place with Coleman recovering, and now across the line again they go. Two Toyotas still battling. Will Lewis look to get back on the inside of Andrew on the turn 1? I don't think he's quite close enough, but still Ben now starting to stretch away as these guys start to get a bit frustrated and start trying to gain position. Nathan especially will be not happy with third. He'll want at least second out of this just to maintain his championship lead. But Lewis sideways again. I think he thinks this is a drift race. He's got the wrong idea, and using all the curb and more, and Lewis comes back from the pit lane by the looks of that, and that's allowed Andrew a little bit of a break. But now Nathan's starting to get the magnets on Adam. He's starting to get a bit bored with this, and he wants to gain the position. He's got Liam behind him still. Sean's been very quiet in 5th for a while, and just keeping the watching brief, but he's the one, if anything, needs to attack. He's 3rd in the championship, remember, and Lewis looks like his chances, if they were very slim, look to be over by being down in 8th or 9th place at the moment. 8th place, as we can see on the graphic, but we're on board now with Liam looking for, and the car in front is a Toyota. Quote that famous advert back in the day. And the Toyota is getting bored of looking at the back of a Hyundai, and he will try and overtake. And the Will Hoy car is trying to attack the Ingram car, and the Ben Rouse car is gone. He's bolted, and Nathan knows it, and he knows that he's got the pace. He was fastest in practice before this. Flash of the lights from Sean. He's getting annoyed as well. He wants past Liam. All these guys think they're faster than the guy in front of them. He's just trying to prove it. Nathan trying to go around the outside of Adam. Now that won't work, but what he's trying to do is get down the inside for the next corner. Adam knows it. The brake lights flash as he tries to get a tighter line, and it's worked. And Sean down the inside of Liam, and that's worked, but he'll have the outside for the next corner. It depends what Liam does. Will he give him the room? Liam not battling for the championship, but is having an exceptional second half of the season. Liam does not give him room, so Liam's not thinking of anybody's championship. He's thinking about his own race, as you'd expect. Meanwhile, Lewis is on the attack. He's got past Andrew and is now making strides towards the front group. Leon there in the yellow and blue Renault livery car from Alain Menu, but it's not bringing him any luck at the moment. But Ben's lead now has doubled. He's got a big lead. Adams sort of seems to be going off the boil, the pole sitter. He seems to have got the one lap pace, but not really the race pace, and he's starting to hold all these guys up. And if you know anything about touring cars in this season, things will start happening soon. And Liam and Sean are still battling it out. Sean's going to be devastated by this. He really wants to make positions. He's determined to win this championship. Messaged out earlier that he'd really love to win the championship. All that Ben really messes up was that his car felt good, and he's proven that in this race. Adam, our pole sitter, though, just like I say, doesn't quite have the race pace, and he's definitely holding these lot up. But we're working lap 9. We expect to see pit stops around half distance, so like 12-13. And Jeff hanging on well as well, it should be noted. He's doing really well in 6th place at the moment. Again, Nathan trying the outside line to switch back up the inside, and has it worked this time? It looks like he's got an overlap. Has he? No, not quite. Adam defending really well, and Liam just to give him gives Nathan a nudge up the butt and just says, come on man, let's get on with this. And Sean as well just doesn't have the straight line speed, and the Toyota's still a little bit wide there on the exit. but it's just the straights aren't quite long enough for the Lexus this weekend. But while there's a little lull in proceedings, we can talk a little bit about... Oh, no, we can't. There's not a lull. They're still pushing. Surely Nathan's got to send one soon, because Ben is gone. He's up the road, look. He's absolutely halfway up the straight. So eventually, he's got to get bored with this. Again, trying the outside to try and make Adam compensate on the brakes and maybe leave a gap up the inside. He's trying to go wide, but he's got to watch Liam behind. Liam doesn't need a second chance or an invitation to get up the inside, and he may get him now, but no, he's been on the outside. He knows that he'll back out of that. Meanwhile, this is Lewis, who has pitted, by the way. You've just seen that he has pitted. It's come up on the graphic there, and he'll come out on his fresh tyre, so that might be a pretty clever move. But these guys holding each other up, and if they stay out for another lap or two, he'll gain a lot of time and hopefully positions Adam wide. Surely that's Nathan through, but no, Adam sweeps around. Sean's had enough, he's pitted. That's a wise move. Jeff's now caught the back of these guys, and Jeff will be loving this. This is the best showing we've seen from him all season. He's had a few good results, but some of them may be a bit lucky. This is on pure pace that Jeff is fighting these guys, and he is literally hanging on with them. Ben's gone. The gap's about 3-4 seconds, and sort of already his race to lose as long as he gets the strategy right. Adam and Nathan's really had enough of this now, and Jeff's sideways into the bottom corner there, Graham Hill Ben, and Liam is past. He's past Nathan. Nathan's messed that right up. He's attacking Adam, and now he's sideways and he's almost in the barrier. Jeff hangs on to it. Sorry, Nathan holds on to it, and Jeff nearly takes the place, but surely these guys have to react to Sean's pit stop, and they do. Adam and Liam are in. Anyone else coming in? No, Nathan stayed out, and so is Jeff, and Adam's made a mess of his pit entry and let Liam through in the pit, so Liam already knows he's ahead of Adam without the pit stops being taken into account. But where did they come out compared to Sean? There's Sean. Sean's made massive strides, and Lewis as well. Lewis has come from nowhere now, and he's battling these guys. Need to see really what's happened there. It looks like Lewis has got ahead of Liam and Adam as well, so that's how much time they lost. So Ben and Nathan need to think about that, because these guys are gaining huge lumps of track position by the undercut, but they will have fresher tyres. That's the only thing you can say, so maybe they can just re-overtake people, but you can't take that chance. There's Ashley looking pretty good. Ben's in, by the way. You can see on the graphic top corner, Ben's in for a new set of tyres, leading the race. Surely that's a wise move. He stayed out as late as he can. He comes out. Nathan stays out again. I just can't see how that's a clever move. I mean, he'll have massively fresh tyres, but he's lost so much time in track position. We've seen that from the amount that Lewis has gained. Lewis was down in 8th place, and he's come out after the pit stops in a net probably 3rd place. So an amazing strategy call, and especially for Sean, he's leaped up 4 places. So yeah, his championship's back on. Nathan, though, is he going to try what he did at Kyoto, where he stayed out the whole race? I just can't see that's a wise move, because his car looks loose on new tyres, letting alone old tyres, and he gives up the unequal struggle, heads down the pit lane. But he's going to have one hell of a second half of the race to get anything out of this, especially a podium. You just feel like that's not a clever move, but now he has to fight back. He's leaving the pit lane, but these guys are already past. Let's see where he comes out. Can we see him in the background? Yeah, he's behind Adam, so 6th place. And if Jeff hadn't had a half spin on his in lap, he would have been 7th place. So Nathan with a lot of work to do. Sean's pulling away from this group, so advantage Ben and Sean in the championship right now. They are making big strides. Ashley with a penalty, but that will be evaporated anytime soon. So now it's the battle for 3rd. We've got Lewis, Liam, Adam, and then Nathan. Nathan already looking at Adam, and he'll have a big tyre advantage. He's got about 2 or 3 laps on him, which is quite a big advantage, even on a track like this. There's not a lot of corners, but what there are quite abrasive on the tyres. So we've got 10 times tyre wear, remember, so these tyres take a bit of a pounding, even if it is the medium compound. And now Brian's in the way. He should really just pull over and let these guys through. Looks like he might have. No, he hasn't. He's let Lewis through. Now these maraud and pack will want to get past him as well. He should just pull over out the way, but he hasn't. Okay, now he's got this bottom straight to get out the way. Just pull over to the left. but he's not, and Liam is going to be super savage about this. He'll be jumping. Brian really should be getting out of the way. The blue flags are flying and Liam's down the inside, and you just barge him out of the way. There you go. Right, look, to be fair, Brian had his chance and Adam gives him a slap on the back as well, and that's let Nathan through. Nathan's got a great run. Can he take the pair of them? No, he's got Adam. Now can he take Liam into the first corner? This is giving Lewis a nice little breathing space. He's gone. But nope, Nathan can only get Adam. Brian's decided he wants to race these guys now. But I'm sure he'll learn from this. It's a bit of a mistake on his part. You see the blue flags, you've got to get out of the way. Some of these guys are fighting for championships. And Jeff's still doing a great job in 7th, and Hank the only one that can really live with the leading pack. Coleman with an interesting line at the top of the hill there. And Leon with an even more interesting line at paddock. And recovering from a spin by the looks of it. But Ben is away and looking comfortable. We've said it quite a lot. 7 laps to go and he's got pretty much 3/4 of the front straight, so just got to basically stand up to win now. Sean second, looking quite comfortable. Lewis in third. Liam not comfortable. He's got Nathan all over the back of him. Nathan's fighting for his championship here. Came in 10 points ahead. Everyone kind of assumed he'd win it, but at the moment it's really not looking great for him. But remember, he has got the fresher tyres, so by quite a few laps. So if he can use the Lexus power as well, I'm sure he can try and make a move, as we saw Brian there going off in the background. And just kind of like a final insult there. But wide from Adam, already he's starting to look a bit ragged like he did in the opening part of this race. Liam though is actually pulling in on Lewis at the moment and not actually being hassled by Nathan, so maybe Liam has found his second wind, or calmed down and just sort of getting used to the pressure from Nathan. As they come through again around the top corner and down into Graham Hill bend and along the bottom straight. Lewis there kicking up the dust. Good line through there. He pulls a few lengths out. Nathan also closing in a bit up there on Liam. Liam's a bit slack in that corner, and they're all Nathan's all over him. Look down the inside, but Liam's too canny for that. A canny Scotsman nonetheless, and he does hold off Nathan. He's just running around the inside of the track so that Nathan can't get past. Nathan's got the power there, so try around the outside into paddock, Hill bend. Chris is off at paddock, and Nathan with a switchback, and that's clever. And Liam's, I wouldn't think Liam would fall for that, but he has. Surprises me, but Liam's gone wide, outbraked himself, and Nathan up to 4th place now. So now he will be desperate to get past Lewis, and into 3rd. The first 2 positions look settled. Liam gives him a nudge at the back to say, "How dare you?" But it's too late. There's nothing he can do about it now, and he won't be able to fight back against Nathan on newer tyres as we flash through the chicane. This corner, the hardest one to brake for. You try to carry speed through there, but it's so easy to carry way too much. 5 laps to go then. It's opening race of the season finale at Brands Hatch, and Nathan has got work to do, and he's pulling alongside Lewis, and that's an audacious overtake. Lewis tries to outbrake him and goes wide, and Nathan takes the place. An audacious pass, a great pass, and Liam as well. Very, very clever there, just waited for it to unfold in front of him, and he takes 4th place from Lewis. Lewis can now definitely kiss any thoughts he had of the championship goodbye. They were unlikely, they are now very unlikely, and they all go wide at that corner. I'm surprised they don't get pinged for that. Lewis comes back from the pit lane again. Adam's car's fading badly in the race. Remember, this was the pole sitter, and he's fighting for 6th place right now, so it's shocking. And he's off on the grass, comes back on. Jeff tries to sweep around the outside. He will get a penalty for that, Adam. Jeff will try and sweep round, and there you go. Jeff will try and sweep round the outside with the BMW, but not on this lap. Maybe a look into paddock. Has a little look, but not really thinking about Jeff's. Unless it's a proper move, he won't make it. Very clean driver. Although does like a field, likes his John Deere's. Here's Andrew in 8th place, running a fairly lonely race with the Coleman, who's come back quite well from his first corner spin. So yep, Nathan No in 3rd, making good strides towards Sean in 2nd, but I think it's too little too late. this is probably the best battle on the track right now, is Adam against Jeff. Adam just doesn't seem to have any front end. He just seems to be really struggling. We're on board with Jeff to get a better look at this, and there's the BMW any quicker down the straight than the Hyundai. We will see now. The Ingram car against the David Leslie car. Late great David Leslie. And here we go, down the inside. Jeff's got a great chance now. He's just got to run off the brakes, but Adam's very late on the brakes, sideways into the corner, and Jeff just makes sure that he doesn't make any mistakes, doesn't hit anyone. And now just try to use the superior grip, because Adam just doesn't seem to have any. Through this fast chicane, brilliant camera angle, and then down into the last corner. Jeff trying to work an angle, trying to go out wider to cut back in and get the drive. As we go forward, 2 laps to go, and Sean's lead over Nathan is dramatically dropping. Look at the gap now. That was about 4 seconds a couple laps ago, and now all of a sudden it's dropped. You can see that Nathan's running around a second and a half faster per lap, so I don't think it's going to happen. Jeff finally gets the move done. That line that he took into the last corner worked, and he's got the drive and past Adam. Adam could do nothing. You can see the cars all over the show. And Jeff takes a fantastic 6th place. I don't know what he had for breakfast, but he is absolutely flying today. Meanwhile, quite a way back now is 8th for Andrew, closing fast. It's Coleman in 9th. I'm sure Coleman would be looking to do better in the second race. Coleman's the only slight disappointment from the season. We know the guy's got pace. I've raced him in another championship, and he was basically in the championship fight to into the last race. So I'm expecting a bit more from Coleman next season, and I'm sure he'll produce. Although I think he's only doing selected rounds, which is it's quite a shame. We all like racing Coleman, so hopefully he can do himself justice in season 2. But doing himself justice in season 1 right now is Ben, and this is great for Ben and Sean as well. Sean can hold on second place. I don't think Nathan's going to catch him, but yeah, this will bring Ben straight back into the championship battle. It was 10 points before this race. It looked a bit tough, but his car hasn't been performing lately. It's performed brilliantly around Brands Hatch Indy, and he was right to feel confident, and it's going to be the win. And that reinvigorates the championship, and with Sean second, that brings everyone closer. The net gap was 11 points between all 3, and I'm pretty sure it's going to shrink now. Sean second, Nathan third, Liam comes across 4th, Lewis comes sideways across in 5th as always. Jeff in 6th, a great effort from him. 7th, really disappointing for Adam, was on pole. And 8th, Andrew holds on from the charging Coleman, and he takes the 8th place. Coleman across for 9th. Remember, he spun on lap 1, and the Stig will come across for 10th, or some say he will come across the line for 10th, and he does. So it's Ben, Sean, Nathan, Liam, Lewis, Jeff, Adam, Andrew, Coleman, Ashley, Leon. Be disappointed with that. Chris, and it was Brian that brought up the rear. And the championship now is Ben 161, Nathan 159, and Sean 154. So the gap's now only 7 points between the 3. Lewis is completely out of it. Liam and is actually closing on Lewis. Then Adam, Dylan, who's not racing, Jeff, Coleman, Andrew, and the rest. And we'll see you for race 2 very shortly.